Maryland. Sean, good morning. Bill thought you might be here in person. Sean, what happened?
No, I'm heading to Big Red wrap-up, guys. We got a studio call time. I got to be in the studio. We do some taping before the show starts. So late night with the games, and then we tape our show this morning. So it's hard work doing Bill Bush type hours here.
Hey, and I'm glad you mentioned, because I do got to leave early, guys, because I'm doing that Big Red.
What time are you leaving at?
8:45.
Oh, that's fine. We can live with that.
8:45.
So thanks for dropping that bomb on us. all we've talked about all week is Thanksgiving Eve and appreciation.
Well, he was here for the whole show. Besides one segment.
That's okay. This is everything's changed now.
One segment.
Thank you for calling in, Sean.
Yes, thank you, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, thanks for taking time.
Go
ahead. Jake,
regarding that game, we'll get to that real quick. Jet Tamal, of course, 49-0 Millard South wins over Papua Vista South. Nebraska still never really talked to him. Of course, he's an Alabama commit. Do you think there'll be a regret for Nebraska ever, not pursuing him more when all is said and done?
I mean, probably, if I was being dead honest. I mean, he's going to be coached by DeBoer and Grubb, though, two of the best quarterback guys in the whole country and the best quarterback school in the country, Alabama. I mean, Alabama's produced as many of the NFL quarterbacks as any college right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when you look at what their track record has been and the way these guys are playing there. So, you go back in that moment in time. Dayton Raiola was committed a long time ago, and they had their one quarterback. They had Dylan. They had Trey Taylor. They had TJ Lateef. So even if they did recruit him, I don't know if it would have worked out because of what it looked like at that moment. And, right now, he's going to sign a letter of intent on Wednesday to Alabama. So it is what it is. I mean, you have to make those decisions very early on. And at that moment, there was kind of not even a thought of it. I mean, Dayton was going to be their guy for obvious reasons. He's a good quarterback at that, and the relationships with the program were there, and that was the direction they were going to go, knowing they had Trey Taylor, knowing they had TJ Lateef, knowing they had Dylan Raiola.
Yeah, I don't know how you can have regrets without having seen him play a college snap. I mean, I think the only way you could address the question of do you regret not recruiting him is if he goes on to have a stellar career. If he goes on to do not much, why would it be a regret? I just don't know how you can answer that question right now.
The only thing I would say is what our mutual friend that we work with at Bama Online, Tim Watts, is the most plugged in Alabama person there is with recruiting and has direct correspondence with their coaches and has for years. And he, when they came across Jet, I mean, the sentiment was like, wow, like we were lucky to get in this thing. And they couldn't believe how under-evaluated and under-recruited he was on the national scene. And a lot of it was because Jet played multiple sports. He did AAU basketball. He was, kind of like a Joe Burrow. Played high-level basketball. It was a point guard for my old high school teammate, Tim Lucien, who's the head basketball coach there. So didn't do all the quarterback guru circuit stuff that all these other guys do. He didn't do 7-on-7 at a high level. He played for a local team, didn't do a national sponsored team. So in that regard, he just wasn't out there at that level at the moment you needed to be. Sophomore, junior year is kind of when all this happens, not senior year.
Right.
And I can remember last year in the state championship game when the game was over, he did not have an offer yet from anywhere, not one. And Ty Wisdom on that broadcast, so I interviewed their former coach, said, I don't know what the hell people are doing here, Sean, but he needs to have offers, and he was pretty blunt about it, if you know Ty Wisdom. And he was right. I mean, the guy's best quarterback, we've seen in a long time. We talked about Zane Flores. He's much better than Zane Flores, in my opinion. To operate the way he did in the stadium yesterday with 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I mean, a freaking gas station blew over in Crete, and Jet Kamala.
Gas station blew over. Sean's not lying.
God dang, Sean.
I was trying to explain to Tim yesterday, Tim Watts, the wind, and I go, this is what we were dealing with in Lincoln yesterday. I showed the picture of the U-stop completely blown over, and Jet was throwing 40, 50-yard dimes in that wind.
That's impressive, Sean. Hey, Sean, another thing that's impressive. Do you like deviled eggs?
No,
Oh God!
Well, you don't like devil. I've never heard of a
Sean.
person that doesn't like deviled eggs. This is
I mean, I eat hard-boiled eggs, but I'm just not a big deviled egg guy.
All right. Well, there's deviled eggs here. You're missing. We thought you'd be at the party.
yeah.
Okay,
I didn't realize.
we forgive him.
I was confused. I thought Bill wanted us to tape our HuskerOnline show that we do, in the studio on Friday morning.
No,
and I was
I
confused.
still expect you to be here live for it.
That's okay, Sean. It's
all
all
right.
right. We forgive you.
Okay.
It's
So
okay.
speaking
Confusion.
of quarterbacks, what do you think? Okay. So now TJ Lateef is running the show for Nebraska. What do you think? How much do you think he benefited from the Penn State game, and what do you expect from Lateef on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough one in a lot of regards. He dropped back 45 times, which is a lot for a true freshman, especially a guy in his second start. So they put a lot on him in that game and put him back there a lot. And I think this week you would hope, because Iowa does what they do, like John Butler said, I can watch their film and it's the same stuff that they've been doing since 2010 and even longer. So I do think they'll have a better handle on how Iowa plays and what they do and how they want to attack it. And Dana Holgorsen now has seen it. Now this will be a second year in a row going against what Iowa does. But it comes down to, can they run the ball? And what are the elements going to do to this game? It's going to be cold. How much will that slow things down for both teams in terms of just the style of game this might be?
Okay, as far as that goes, what style of game is this going to be in your mind?
Well, we've seen a lot of 13-10 type games. Is it going to be that kind of game, or can it push into the 20s? I don't see any way this game breaks out of the 20s. Do you?
No, I mean, I don't.
Unless there's just a turnover party.
Yeah, and there could be some turnover.
Neither team has turned it over this year, really, at a high level. So
no, they haven't.
I mean, if Nebraska can score 24 points in this game, I think they can win.
Wow, because there's a lot going on here, Sean.
We're trying
to stay focused.
We're
Worlds are
distracted.
colliding in front of us, Sean.
Yeah, so Sean, Nebraska again is both teams 7-4. Iowa's a 5.5 point favorite. They've won 6 straight times in Lincoln. I mean, if you're trying to find any sort of momentum or extra fuel, like if you're Matt Rhule, don't you bring it up and say, "Listen, guys, it's been 6 straight times they beat us here." Does that not add more motivation to the fire here for Nebraska?
Think about it, Jake. Where were you in 2011?
I was in college. I was sophomore in college.
Jake was still in college.
Junior in college.
I mean, the ticket radio station didn't even exist at that point. I mean, that's how long it's been since Nebraska beat Iowa and Lincoln. And
wow,
that was the first year of the station.
2011. Oh, you guys were open for the 2011.
Yeah, that was our first. Yeah, the first year of the ticket.
So
we're 14 years in.
You guys have been around 15 years
since August 17th, 2011. Sean.
Gotcha. I didn't realize it was 2011. I was thinking 2012 for some reason. But yeah, you think about 2011, how long ago that was, and when they won that game, you're like, this is gonna be the first of many of these Heroes Trophy wins in Lincoln. It's the only one, and a lot of good coaches have lost. I mean, Bo Pelini lost in 2013. Riley obviously lost all his opportunities. Frost lost all his games. I mean, the lone win is, in this 10 years, it happened with the guy right next to you, Bill Bush, when they went in there at Iowa City and won that game. But the fact that they haven't won in Lincoln is just unreal when you think about it, just because nobody has done that to Nebraska. I mean, Oklahoma under like Barry Switzer, I don't think had a streak like this in Lincoln.
Oh, no.
So now, in order for Nebraska to end this streak, they're probably going to have to play much better against the run. What do you anticipate in that regard on Friday?
Well, they got to get off blocks better, and they got to play the edges better. I mean, I think those have been issues when they've struggled against the run. Those have been the biggest things. You see linebackers get sucked in on counter plays a lot, and you see the edge just not being set like it should be. And guys are just running free. I mean, Penn State ran wild on the edge. I mean, everything they wanted to do, they just ran right around whatever Nebraska was trying to do. And I don't know if Iowa can do that. I don't think their back Moulton is anywhere near the level of Allen or Singleton, but their offensive line is better. So how will that kind of fare out? I think I'm right saying that Iowa's O-line is at least as good or better than Penn State's.
Yeah, at least as good. At least as good. Sean, it's kind of a hard comparison. Now, how do you size up the importance of this game in the context of the Rhule tenure?
Well, I think it's massive in the regard of getting a quality win over a rival that has owned you to sell. And then also, and you wrote this, Sip, and I saw I've been trying to follow your stuff as close as I could working these games, but your column blew up this week, or your tweet blew up about just, measuring this game as a meaningful win for, what the season could be. Because if you're 7-5 and your best wins are Northwestern and Cincinnati,
right?
That's not, that's a tough sell, but you get that Iowa win, you get to 8-4 and you take away the bowl game Iowa wanted to go to, Tampa. That does kind of change things. You think about these last 10 years, Kirk Ferentz's dominance over Nebraska has kind of reshaped and rewrote the last 10 years here for him. When Pelini was owning him, I'll never forget in 2014 when Bo won that game, just how mad Hawkeye fans were at the style of ball Kirk Ferentz is playing and how they were playing as a program. Ever since that point, he's completely changed. And they've owned Nebraska, and it's, Nebraska needs to flip that back now. They've got to figure out a way to do what Iowa did in Nebraska, because Iowa's not been marketably better than Nebraska. That Nebraska should not have lost 9 of 10. They should have won a few of those games. But Iowa is stuck to what they do, and they've figured this out. So if Nebraska can get this monkey off their back, and look, they're an underdog. This is one of the bigger point spreads they face, especially in Lincoln. That really should get your attention. That I don't know what the number is at this morning, but is it still around 5 or 6, Jake?
5.5 this morning.
5.5.
Yep.
5.5. How do you? What?
We'll get to it later. I'm sorry, I just freaked out.
You have a question for Sean?
I do have a question for Sean. Sean, Sean Bill Bush 937 the ticket. Could you talk to, Steve says we got to get these big body defensive linemen. We need to have this in same thing with the O-line. Can you explain to the listeners and to the breakers how hard that is to find those guys in the portal?
Well, it can be really hard, because if you have a good one at a Power 4, for example, you have the money to keep them, the retention money. So what you're going to have to do is find a good one at the Group of 5 FCS level and hope that they pan out. And if there are a few of those, everybody's going to want them. So, yeah, it's easy to say we need to go find good bigs. Well, there's going to be very few of them, and the ones that you're going to want, probably 50 other teams are going to want them. And the price tag to get them, you're going to pay, you're going to have a budget probably going into some of these battles. And whatever your budget is, just add more to it, because that's just what's going to happen. It happens every year in the portal. Chamar Brown should be a Husker. He's was Miami's running back this year, and they could have got him probably, but then Miami just completely blew the budget up, and made it kind of the point where it didn't make sense to spend double probably what you were thinking it was going to cost to get a player, and that's what it's going to be for these D linemen. So we'll see, and there could be some money that frees up even more so. As we know, who knows, we've talked a little bit about the quarterback situation, but we just don't know what direction that's going to go with Dylan Raiola, TJ Lateef, and kind of how you manage the money and the decision there with that position room, because there is a lot of money, obviously, that could be tied, or that is currently tied in that quarterback room, that if something changed, you'd have a lot more money as well to put towards other players.
Sean, bigs, go back to thinking bigs. Are there young bigs in the pipeline that are ready to step in next year? Defensive line.
You'd hope that, simple, there's only 3 of them on the roster.
Okay.
Cade Pedshock, who's playing.
Okay.
Malcolm Simpson, who was hurt. And Tyson Terry, who was hurt. I do think Simpson and Terry, are guys that can get in the rotation and play, particularly Terry. I really like it. I've had a lot of people tell me that Terry would be a great O lineman. He's got that nastiness that you want to see and toughness, but he's a D lineman right now at this point.
Keep him at D line, Sean. Why would you?
I'm not sure if Sean's in charge of that, but I don't know. Sean, is there something I'm missing here? Are you setting the starting lineup on Friday? Will you set the starting lineup?
Well, Terry's the kind of guy, if he was at Iowa and they made him an O lineman, we'd probably be talking about him 4 years later.
Well, we're not going to be, so let's just keep him at D line.
He's a good player, and he's coming off that injury, so we'll see where he's at. He's starting to do some light practice work, but those are the main 3. And the other guys are playing. I just don't know.
I got you.
David Hoofkin, and by the way, that's how you pronounce it. It's David Hoofkin.
It's not
Robin.
David. It's David.
It's David.
Wow.
How do you say this last name?
Thank you to Robin Washett for giving us the. Was that one of our conversations in State College in the Airbnb, Sip?
Oh God, yeah, it was brief. It was a brief.
How do you say it, Sip?
Hoofkin.
Sean,
Ashton Murphy's another one.
Ashton
Can he make
Murphy.
a jump, or what's the ceiling for guys like that? Bottom line is you need good linemen, D linemen to play in this league, and there's not much of a push when Nebraska brings 3 or 4 people, and not a blitz. How many times do you say, "Wow, they're getting off blocks, they're beating 5 offensive linemen"? Very rarely. I'll answer the question. Very rarely.
Right. So, and part of that is because of something that was addressed yesterday. They don't have the bigs. You heard John Butler. He totally answered what we've been saying. You need 330-pounders, 340-pounders. That's what you need, Sean.
They kind of went budget on that last year. I mean, Jalen George, not probably a big ticket guy.
No, he's 285. He's 285, which is fine, but you need a couple big ones.
Yeah, that was, and then what's the guy from Mississippi State they brought in?
My name is Moore. Gabe Moore.
Gabe Moore. Those are the 2 guys they brought in, and that's not big ticket D lineman. That's like the stuff at Kohl's by the cash register. It's not. You're not going out and into the main Nordstrom display rack there.
I got you, Nordstrom.
Sean's a Nordstrom guy. You know he is. He's a Nordstrom guy. We've heard about it.
Sean, there are Jello shots down here.
Come on down, Sean, before you do the show.
Greg brought Jello shots and Lawrence Welk video.
Quite a party.
Sean, last thing, do you expect a win or expect a loss on Friday to Iowa?
Think of, Sean?
I've got a win picked, mainly just out of spite, because I can't handle Nebraska continuing to blow this. They're at home. I sure hope Rhule and this staff can get this team fired up for what this game should be and what it needs to be. But look, Iowa's played really well. That's the scary thing. They easily could have won at USC. They easily could have beat Oregon, and they easily could have beaten Indiana. You can't say that about Nebraska's season right now because they haven't had those types of games. Now, USC, they could have obviously, that's one you look at. But they didn't play Oregon. They didn't play Ohio State. They didn't play Indiana. And those are the 3 playoff teams. And Iowa's played 2 of them, and they went 12 rounds with those guys and made it very, very interesting. But that's what they do against everybody. So that's why what this game probably is going to be. It's going to be low possession, low scoring. And, if Nebraska can get into the 20s and Latif and Dana can draw a few things up, I do think they can win this game at home, even as an underdog.
You don't sound overly convincing, my friend.
He said out of spite, to win.
But also, Sean, I had a chance to watch it. I can't unsee the Michigan State game. It was 17-7, and Iowa looked horrific. They did. It was a miracle win. Probably one of the biggest miracle wins. I was like, there's no chance they can win this thing, and they end up winning it. But when you watch against at that time, they were an 0-7 in the league. Michigan State team was manhandling them at Iowa. So I can't unsee that one either. That's what I think gives the Nebraska fans a lot of hope.
No, I agree. That's a great point, Bill, that the Michigan State game, because 17-7, was it fourth quarter or late third?
That was fourth. That was fourth.
There's like 10 minutes to go in the game. And but anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sean, always good stuff. Enjoy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you
Thank you,
next
Sean.
week.
Yeah, have a Jello shot for me. Sip